Hey class, Prof JC here, and I'm excited to welcome you to our class BLD 4020, Cultural Influences and Diversity in the Workplace. I got to tell you, I got to be honest with you, as an Afro-Latino, born in South America, in Quito, Ecuador, South America, I was adopted by a white family, raised in the Rust Belt here in the United States of America, in Indiana. I got to tell you that this is a subject that I'm passionate about. It's a subject I think is really important. It's a subject that I like to talk about. Obviously, these kind of classes we would actually, online is great, right? These kind of classes typically are done best. These kind of conversations about these kind of things that we're going to talk about are typically done best in a classroom setting where we can all see each other. But this is the second best way to do it. Okay. I want you to know something though, before I kind of dive in and just work through kind of what the class is going to be about here in our first video podcast, that when I talk about diversity, again, I just shared with you where I came from and my background, which is different. I think about this subject from a much different perspective than maybe what you might think that I think of this of this topic. People may look at me and they might think that I have a certain bent. I might think a certain way, have a certain political bent, a certain way of seeing the world, and maybe I've got a bone to pick with an issue like this, but that's never the case. Or it's not the case with me, I guess I should say. I think a class like this is important because I think the conversation of diversity, which is what this class is going to be about, is really one that is important because it teaches us how to think liberally. Okay. And when I say liberal, I don't mean politically. I don't mean religion. I just mean to think liberal means that we think from that we can see any issue from all sides, and we can see any issue compassionately from all sides. And I think that is incredibly important in this issue of diversity. And so I've taught this class before where I've had people who lean politically right. And so they have a view on this issue of diversity. And so part of my job is to help bring them a little bit this way. I've taught people in a class, this kind of a class, primarily in graduate with our graduate students, but I've taught people who are politically left. And my job in that kind of class is to bring them a little bit more this way. So this is not a class where you're going to hear certain things that will, try to bring you into one position. It's really classes like this. When we talk about diversity, it's to help bring awareness. That's what this really is about. And then how do we, from a leadership perspective, with that awareness, how do we lead people more effectively? That's really what it's about. Okay. And so I'm excited for it. I'm open to your views. I'm open to what you have to share. I hope you learn something about yourself. Maybe you bring more awareness to your workplace, kind of where you are. If you're in a leadership position right now, that you bring more awareness to that leadership position, whatever it is. I think that these kind of conversations are really important. So this is going to be great. So here's how the class is going to go. Okay, and I've got my syllabus up here. Here's our course description. This course examines cultural influences and differences. In addition to issues of diversity, equity, and inclusion, students will learn how to develop increased awareness and appreciation. That's what we just talked about, awareness, right? Appreciation for diverse backgrounds in order to foster collaborative relationships and environments. Emphasis is placed on developing cultural intelligence and strategies to lead diverse teams. That's the key. Look, if you have any kind of a goal of being a global player, or if you have any kind of a goal of working in a large city, right, you're going to have to think from a diverse perspective. You're going to have to have the ability to lead diverse teams. Most of you already know this because probably where you work with a diverse team. And when I mean diverse, I just don't mean people from different colors, people from different races. It's all kinds of backgrounds and religions and creeds and beliefs and lifestyles and all of it. Okay. And our job as leaders is not to come in and try to change everybody to our perspective. Our job is to go in and lead them right where they are. Okay. So we've got to be able to do that. We've got to be able to think from a leadership perspective. Okay. Now, here's what I would tell you. This is I'm kind of looking up the modules here. So this is my first time, I will tell you, to teach this particular class. I've taught this class several times in our graduate studies. We have a diversity class that we taught there. I actually was able to build that class. And so I'm going to ask for your patience with me as we work through this. Some of the assignments are going to be great and we're going to keep them. And some we may say, hey, we don't necessarily need those. And so we'll replace them or we'll move points around or, whatever it looks like. So I'm going to ask for your patience with me as I kind of work through this as well. I've got a good sense about where the class needs to go. Okay. And so that's going to be a good thing. But as we get in here, I want to make sure that we're learning the right things, that we're not throwing too much information your way, that you're getting things that are going to be really important. And so just have some flexibility and have some patience with me as we kind of work through this class. I will tell you this, the podcast. Okay. So, and I haven't decided this either. Okay. So this is part of being flexible as well. Either every week or 4 weeks out of the 8, you'll have a podcast from me like this, and I'll get on the podcast, I'll talk, and I'll have a question. Excuse me, I'll have a question for you, and you'll answer that question. And these podcasts are more reflective in nature. Okay, so I'll either pick something out of our reading. I'll pick something out of our materials for the week and we'll just kind of talk through it. I'll talk through it on the podcast. I'll give some thoughts and I'll try to keep these podcasts as brief as possible, anywhere from 10 to 20 minutes, hopefully never more than 20 minutes. But if I get passionate about something, I can't promise. But the goal is to kind of keep them between 10 to 20 minutes. And so then at somewhere in the podcast, even on this one today, I'll ask a question and then your job will be to respond to the podcast and answer the question and you'll get points for answering the question. Okay. So that's going to be our goal. Now, whether we're going to do this on weeks 1, 3, 5, 7, or every week, I'm not sure just yet. Okay. I'm still trying to figure that out. But I'll let you know. And obviously you'll see if they keep popping up, right? I'll communicate it to you in the weekly announcements, but they'll keep, if they pop up, in the week, then make sure that we hit them up. And so I'll make sure to let you know how that goes. Every Sunday, every Sunday you'll get a course announcement for you from me. They're always short and sweet, and they let you know what the assignments are for the week. I recommend that you read the course announcement. There will be times that we will make changes, and the changes will be in the course announcement. I've had people who didn't read the course announcement, and then they end up doing a major assignment because maybe I take it out of the module and it still remains an assignment. And if I forget that, well, that's on me, but it could happen. But if you don't read the course announcement, then you might see this assignment and say, okay, I still need to do it, but you didn't read and the rest of the class didn't do it. And so you're having to, I'll still grade it for you and give you points, but you're wasting your time. And I don't want you to do that. Okay. So make sure you read the course announcements every single week. We'll do the podcast. And that's pretty much how it's going to go. I've had some questions about books that we need to get. Okay. So if we go to the announcement, again, if you have any information that you need about the class, always refer to the course announcements. Okay. And so in the course announcements, I'm reading the one that just got sent out last week. And so it talks about making sure that you get the assessment and then making sure that you get the book called Leading with Cultural Intelligence. It's available on Amazon. You can click the link and do that. So here's how the assignments work. Every assignment is due on Sunday at 11:59 p.m. There are markers during your week. Some weeks you'll have assignments due on Wednesdays or Fridays or whatever. Those are markers for you. And I recommend you stick with the markers. However, I do not grade assignments till about Monday of the following week. Okay, so just make sure you got everything turned in by Sunday night at 11:59 p.m. All right, and part of leadership is we show up on time and we show up consistently. So get your assignments in on time, and that makes the class easy. Okay, this is not one of these. This is not one of the classes that you're going to want to kind of skip out on. And this isn't going to be a difficult class. Much of what we're going to do is really you're going to learn and then reflect, learn and reflect, learn and reflect, and through that, again, hopefully it just raises your awareness around this. So show up to the class and you can get your assignments in on time, and it's going to be good, and for you, it's going to be good for me. Now, here's the question that I want to leave you with for for this week, and it's the one class, it's the one question that you need to answer. What is the one thing that you want to get out of our time? Okay. So we've got 8 weeks together, and I'm very excited about that. I'm excited to spend some time with you. I think some of you I've had in a class already this past summer, so it's good to have you in class again. And so for this particular class, I just want to know from your perspective, what's one thing, just one thing. Well, what's one thing? So you can write a sentence. Also in these reflection assignments, when I give you a podcast, these don't need to be APA. I'm not asking for big paragraphs and that kind of stuff. I just want you to answer the question. Okay. So answer the question the best you can, really reflect on it, but these don't, you don't have to write a paper on this or anything. You can answer this in 3 to 5 sentences if you need to. What's one thing you want to get out of our class time this coming semester? I really look forward to our time with you. If you ever need to reach out, again, based on the syllabus, you can reach out to me. You can email me. I'll just say, hey, Prof. JC, I want to get some time with you. My cell phone is actually wrong. I just changed my cell phone number, just moved up to North County from the South Bay. And so I changed my cell phone number and stuff. So I'll make sure to send that out, the new number out in the announcements. If you reach out to me, okay, and I don't get back to you in 24 hours, just text me. Okay. No phone calls, please. I barely answer any of the phone calls that come my way as it is right now. So don't call me, or you're probably not going to get a response. But if you just send me a text, say, hey, Prof. JC, I sent you an email. Could you check it for me or ask me the question, whatever. And that'll make sure the communication goes okay. All right. Well, you got your question. I answered it. If you fast forward all the way to the end to find the question, you're going to have to rewind a little bit. So your questions in here, just enter that question for the week. And I'm really looking forward to a really great, I was going to say semester. It's not a full semester, great quad with all of you. And hopefully we all learn together and raise awareness. I'll see you in the next episode. Feel free to reach out if you need anything, again, through email or text. Either one is fine. And I look forward to having a great class with you. Take care.